Changing direction from the previous administration, insurgents captured by U.S. and NATO forces in Afghanistan will now have a chance to appeal their detentions. Officials say the U.S. is granting prisoners held at a U.S. detention center dubbed Afghanistan's Guantanamo the right to challenge their imprisonment.
One of the things that the new administration and the new military leadership in Afghanistan has really stressed is trying to win over the support of the Afghan people. And of course, detentions has been a key issue for them for a very long time.
This year, the Obama administration attempted to block detainees from appealing their detentions. In April, a judge ruled that foreign prisoners held at Bagram Air Base in North Kabul should also be provided that right.
The question now is how the Obama administration is going to reform practices at Bagram to ensure that we have an adequate level of the ability for the detainees who have been there for many years to actually challenge the conditions of their confinement and their detention.
Human rights organizations have expressed some optimism over the ruling. We're pleased that an additional review has now been set up because detainees of Bagram are detained for a long time without charges and any kind of review process, said Human Rights Watch counterterrorism advisor Stacey Sullivan. Since 2002, Bagram Prison has been used as a holding site for terrorist suspects outside of Afghanistan and Iraq. But unlike Guantanamo Bay prisoners, Bagram inmates have had no access to lawyers, limited rights to hear the allegations made against them, and only basic reviews of their status as enemy combatants.
Most of the detainees at Bagram were actually battlefield captured detainees that have been captured in the ongoing conflict there. A fair number of the Guantanamo detainees are exactly the same kind of detainee, but there are a lot more detainees who were brought from other areas, whether it was Thailand or Kenya or Somalia, and taken to Guantanamo and placed in detention there.
Bagram is currently holding 600 prisoners, while Guantanamo is holding about 200 detainees. In July, troops were nearly overwhelmed, with hundreds of prisoners leading protests at Bagram, fearing that they would be held indefinitely. They refused to take part in video telephone conversations or accept visits by their relatives. Last month, a top U.S. general called for as many as 400 of the 600 inmates to be released, saying they pose no threat to the United States, citing little evidence that they should be detained. General Douglas Stone recommended that the U.S. military abandon its detention program in Afghanistan within 12 to 18 months. Colin Campbell, Washington.